Do you worry? If you're a worrywart like me, then this yoga class is for you. Hello and welcome to Yoga with Melissa. I'm Melissa and this is real yoga for real people so that you can move better, feel better, and connect with your true nature. In a world that wants us to consume more and be more and do more, this is deeply transformational hatha yoga so that you can connect with your true nature and bring self-awareness and self-acceptance to yourself in your relationships and the world that you inhabit. If you're new here, turn on your notifications, press that little bell at the top because I put out a new 1-hour hatha yoga video every single Friday. And that way you will get notified when the videos come out so you don't miss a single video. And if you are feeling particularly anxious and overwhelmed, then I invite you to press the mute button and follow along visually if you find the spoken stories and teachings just too overwhelming at this time. I have a testimonial for you today from last week's yoga class on judgment from MG Alonso on YouTube. And MG Alonso says, beautiful, beautiful messages. The first one I loved was about showing us your judgment. It's so good to know that we all experience those kinds of feelings, and we are all human. Of course, we all experience judgment. Of course, it's not just you. And the second one I also loved, MG Alonso says, was about how you don't have to follow the rules of your sponsors. And that's why your classes are awesome, because they come from your beautiful sweetheart. So thank you to MG Alonso for your comment on YouTube, and also to all of you who take the time to leave your comment on YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, my website. And as always, the most in-depth conversations happen in our membership community. Thanks to Squeeze Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing long brown leggings with a vine on it, and also underneath my raincoat is orange bamboo top with the Om symbol on it today. Thanks to Dusky Leap for my props. Today we are going to use quite a few props. We're going to use a bolster, and you're going to use 2 blocks and a strap. So get those all ready, and we'll start with our peace mantra. Bring your hands to your heart center. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And that mantra means protect us together, student and teacher. May our studies be nourished together. May we work together for the union of the good of all. May our learning be luminous and purposeful. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Today you are going to begin in heart bed pose. This week in our live class in the membership community, I realized that I hadn't done heart bed for a while, so I think I set that intention to put it in a class again right away. So I'm just putting a block at the top of my bolster and then putting the bolster down, and then you're going to lie back over your bolster. So nice. And you're just going to rest here. And in this position, first you're going to connect with the earth underneath you and let your shoulders drop open. Feel into your breath. And then we're just going to spend a few minutes here remembering a time when we experienced worry in our lives and what that felt like in our bodies. So when you feel worry, what does that feel like in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? So when you're worried, just notice what the energy of worry feels like in your body. Or reflect on what that energy of worry feels like in your body. And recall the sensations in your body when you experience worry in your life. And then go ahead and form an intention for what it is that you would like to receive from your yoga practice today. What's one thing that you're trying to create, sustain, let go of, or rebirth in your life? And how could your yoga practice help you to achieve that, receive that in your life right now? And then you're going to go ahead and find a way to come out of this posture and make your way onto your back without the props, but have a block close by. We'll use a block for the next posture. So take the block and put it between your knees. Hug the block between your knees, and your feet are parallel. You're going to sink into your feet until your hips lift off the ground. So you come into bridge pose, feeling your feet on the ground and feeling the strength of your legs here. You're going to stay here feeling the stability of your legs and your feet. And throughout this class, I'm going to tell you a personal and recent story of my experience with worry. So I was writing an exam for a course that I've been taking on Tibetan Buddhism recently. And I was experiencing a lot of worry over it, particularly over the last question, which was fill in the blank question. My body was jumpy and on edge. I could feel my jaw tighten. My breath was tight and up in my chest. My shoulders were lifted. My neck was getting sore. And I could feel myself trying to control things as the restlessness and agitation and nervousness heightened. I felt my temper shorten with my husband Tim and my daughter Trinity. I think we can all relate to those sensations when worry arises in our experience. Okay, so you're going to slowly lower yourself down. Take that block and put it off to the side. And then you're going to hug your knees into your chest, holding on behind your knees, especially if you have any knee issues. And then you're going to take your yoga strap and hook the strap around the ball of your right foot. So you're going to put it right around the ball of your foot and extend your right leg in the air. If you have any issues with your low back, you're going to keep your left leg bent. Otherwise, it can feel quite nice to lengthen out through your left leg. And then open your right leg out to the side. And then draw up through your pelvic floor, drive your navel back to your spine, bring your right leg back to the center. And we'll release your right leg down and hook up the ball of your left foot. Extending your left leg straight up. And again, if you have any issues with your low back, you're going to keep your right leg bent. Otherwise, it can feel quite grounding to lengthen out through your left leg. So coming back to the story of worrying about taking an exam, the worst part was that it was an exam for Tibetan Buddhism, and we had very specific protocols about how to take the exam. We were supposed to sit in a very still way, a very relaxed and calm way while we were taking the exam, connect with the earth, connect with our bodies, breathe. And I couldn't sit still at all. I was very agitated. I was incredibly restless. And there was nothing still about my experience at all. And so there was that kind of added to the worry, I wasn't doing it right. And it made it worse. So you're going to open this leg up out to the side. So I wasn't able to breathe. I wasn't able to be still in my body, and I wasn't able to connect to the earth. Okay, bring your leg back to the center. Draw it in and release it down. And from here, we are coming over to our sides. Roll to your sides. You can put your strap off to the side. And we're going to come over for child's pose. I think doing an uphill child's pose is going to be better for me than doing a downhill child's pose. Okay, for child's pose, you're just going to open your knees wide and sit back on your heels. And rest your forehead on the ground. You could use your bolster if you want, although we're going to do a rotation here, so that might, you could use it temporarily. If this bothers your knees, you can always take this on your back and hug your knees into your chest. So feel the lengthening of your spine here. So the exam question I was working on was a simple fill in the blank. And maybe ironically, I was completely drawing a blank. And I panicked. My mind was spinning in circles and I felt like a complete failure. Like, I really couldn't believe that, I was really quite panicked and anxious that I couldn't recall any of the material from the course because I'd studied really hard all the way through the course. I'd read all the material. It was really baffling me that I couldn't find any of the answers for the blanks. And so I did that thing that I do when I worry, and that we all do when we worry. Instead of staying close in my body, connected to the earth and my breath, I watched my energy scatter. And I frenetically searched through all the course material for the answers. And then you're going to take your left arm underneath your right arm, rotate your spine. So you come into a twist here. And then unrotate, and you're going to do that on the other side. So you thread your needle on the other side, right arm underneath your left arm, rotate your spine through, resting the right side of your shoulder on the ground. And then come back to the center, and we're just going to do a little bit of a walk to the side so you get a side bend through your spine. And then to the other side. And then you're going to come back to the center, and we're going to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So spread your fingers wide and tuck your toes under. Come up into downward facing dog. And then look forward at the space between your hands and walk your feet in and make your way up to standing. Are any of you worried about me on this rock? Okay, you're going to need your blocks for the next one, maybe just one block. And you're going to stand with your feet wide. And turn your left toes out. Jeez. And your right toes in. And you're going to put your block on the inside of your left foot. Yeah, that's better. And we're building Trikonasana pose. I'm just trying to find a spot where, see how these rocks are kind of got holes in them. I need to find a spot where I can put my foot. Okay, so open up your right hip. You're going to push your right hip back. Bring your arms shift forward and then tip. You place your left hand on your block and open your right hand up. So coming back to our story, that was what worry looked like in my exam situation, kind of going all over the course material, looking frenetically for answers. But, sometimes when I worry, it looks like checking my email, checking my social media, doing more work, any work. Cleaning the house is a favorite, like a mad woman. Eating junk food that might make me feel better for like a minute and then makes me feel worse in the long run. Shopping. But the kind of pattern is to move out, 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 and disperse, disperse, disperse. There's a feeling of it being impossible to stay present. Okay, I'm going to come up, and now we can find out if I can do a downhill triangle. So you're going to turn your left toes in, your right toes out. And you're going to put your block on the inside of your right foot. Shift your left hip back, bring your arms up, shift forward, and tip. And lift your left arms up. And feel your feet connected to the ground. Feel the strength of your legs. And then you're going to come up. And you're going to find a wall, and you're going to do legs up the wall. And I'm going to show you a modification for legs up the wall if you don't have a wall. So if you don't have a wall, you can use a block. And you're going to you're going to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And you're going to press into your feet, put the block underneath your feet, and then bring your knees into your chest and lift your legs in the air, and that can work for legs up the wall if you don't have a wall. Otherwise, you're going to scoot your butt against the wall, put the side of your hip against the wall, and swing your legs around and come into legs up the wall here. Whatever you can do. So, back to our story. After searching high and low through all the course notes, and I have to say that was both online, through all the books that we had for the course, through all my course notes. Like, this was hours and hours looking through a fill-in-the-blank question that was like this long. I found some answers that somewhat fit in the blanks, and I decided to hand in the exam because I wanted to get it off my plate. You know, I'm a busy woman. I have to teach you. I have you guys to teach. I have a YouTube channel to run. I have a membership community to run. I have a husband. I have a daughter. I have a life to live. I have more to my life than this fill in the blank question. Even though it consumed me for some time. I really didn't want to worry about it anymore. So not surprisingly, 2 days later, I got the exam back from my teacher saying, you need to do this question again. You passed the whole exam, but this fill-in-the-blank question's a bit of a problem. I'm not sure where you got these answers from. And she said, go back to the text referenced in the question and try again. Okay, and then bend your knees, lower your feet down, and find a way out of the pose. Okay, you're going to roll over onto your stomach now. And you're going to wiggle your hips from side to side, release your low back. Wow. Check that out. Can you get some B-roll of that? That person has a totem pole on their front lawn. Can you see that?
Wow. That's kind of cool.
That's super awesome.
I can photo that later.
Okay. We'll continue with the class.
That's good.
That's an example of being dispersed and out, but I'm not too worried right now. A little bit about the tide coming in and us not being able to get back, but that's really cool. Okay, tuck your toes under, lift your heel and your knee. The tide is coming in, yeah. And then do that on the other side. Tuck your toes under, lift your heel and your knee, create space in your low back, and then you're going to walk your elbows back underneath your shoulders so we come into Sphinx pose. I'm kind of already in it because I can't lie on my belly completely here with this interesting rock formation that Tim's chosen to put me on today. You know, we would switch roles one of these days, except for that it would be atrocious if I filmed. And Tim would be a total drama queen in front of the camera. Anyway. Jack Kornfield says that worry often comes in response to pain that we don't want to feel. And I'm pretty sure in this situation, I didn't want to feel like a failure. In fact, I'm 100% sure that was what the worry was about, not wanting to feel like a failure. And I didn't want to feel the sting of failure. And also, as somebody who spent a buttload of years in post-secondary education, I have a lot of educational trauma. In particular, I've been thinking back to it while filming this class. During my PhD, there's a lot of trauma that came from being mentored by my by my advisors. I can remember particularly one time one of my professors, who's been quite kind to me since I graduated, but wow, he pulled me into his office one time and sat me down specifically to tell me what a terrible writer I am. Like just looking at me right in the eye and saying, you are a terrible writer. It just it hits you right in the heart. And there are tons and tons of times like that during my PhD. And, every time I come to some kind of testing or grading or something like that, all the trauma held within my psyche rapidly rises to the surface. And that's what was going on during this exam. Then you're going to slowly lower down and just wiggle your butt from side to side to release your low back. And then you're going to make your way up to seated, and we're going to sit and do a forward fold and a twist here. So you're going to sit with your right leg out long and your left leg bent. And if there's space here between your leg and the ground, then you're going to fill it with a block or a cushion. And you're going to twist here to begin. And then come back to the center and fold forward. And yeah, as the close of this story shows too, worry is really an impermanent state of conditions that are bound to change. When I got the exam back from my teacher to rewrite that final fill in the blank question, I was able to find the quoted text in the textbook for the first time really quite easily. And then filling in the blanks was so easy. It was completely obvious and so easy. And then from that place of ease and steadiness, it was actually the easiest question on the entire exam. I finished the exam and my teacher and I kind of laughed about how easy the question was for me to finish. Then come up. Switch your legs, bend your right leg, open it out to the side. Extend your left leg and fold forward. Oops, we'll do the twist first. And then we'll fold forward. And then you're going to lie back on your back for Savasana. And you probably have your bolster still, so put the bolster underneath your knees. Especially if you have any low back issues. You can place your hands on your belly or palms up beside you. And you're going to stay here in Shavasana. I'm going to sit up and read you a poem to finish. This poem is called I Worried by Mary Oliver. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. Okay, so gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Pause there for a moment. Slowly make your way up to seated. We're going to finish with a mudra. You're going to sit in a way that's comfortable for you. You might want to sit on a meditation cushion, a block, or a chair. We're going to do the Mushti Mudra. This is a mudra for worry, to ease worry. You take your thumb, you place it at the base of your ring finger, and then you curl the rest of your fingers around it, and then you rest that on your belly, against your lower belly. So this reduces anxiety and nervousness, it calms your mind, and it imparts a sense of centeredness in your body. Okay, let's transition into our closing mudra. Your left palm up, your right palm down, making space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So today I was really stretching myself as a teacher, listening to one of my teachers and people who inspires me in filmmaking, Peter McKinnon. And he was talking this week about how story is everything, and we forget that, and it's so true. And so the way I was stretching myself is to teach from story. And so if you like that, I know some of our most favorite episodes are episodes that are built around stories. So if you like when I teach from story, give this video a thumbs up. And in the comments today, I taught about worry completely from story, and I didn't teach explicitly about worry, but I know you're intelligent people, and I know many of you have been practicing yoga for years. Many of you are yoga teachers, many of you are therapists, counselors, life coaches. You know, you read Psychology Today, you've been doing yoga classes for years. You already know about worry, and for me to teach a class about worry and give you more information about worry, it's just like information overload. So you tell me in the comments, you tell me, what were the teachings on worry today? You tell me. They were all in the story, and so it's up to you to be the teachers this week. You put it in the comments. What were the teachings on worry? And what did you think the main teachings were on worry? It was all in the story, and you let me know if that came through for you and how. And put it in the comments. That's the that's the test. I hope that doesn't worry you like it worried me. There's a little ironic twist to our story today. And if you know somebody who would benefit from these teachings, then feel free to share it with them. I want to thank so much our donators for this week. Diane from Nova Scotia, Donna from Saskatchewan, my Canadian friends there, Sean from New York, Viola from Italy, Nikki, who's a new donor from West Virginia. Thank you, Nikki, for starting a monthly donation. And Paige from Italy. I really appreciate your support. It really helps us in like very simple ways, like putting food on our table so that when Tim and I come here, we are not hangry with each other. Because honestly, when that happens, it is not pretty. Things, get really ugly fast. Today we focused on worry, and we have so much support for anxiety in our yoga community. I was looking at that before we came here. We have live meditation classes each week. We have a 4-week curated series of daily yoga connections on worry. We have 18 classes that are perfect for anxiety and our worry. And for the members, I'll put the link in our show notes. And then if you're not already a member, hey, what are you waiting for? Come and join us. We're super fun, and we're a great group of people. You want to be a part of this, so come and join us. And I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as we don't want this ocean to be too deep right now, because we want to be able to get back to the island here. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti, Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.